In this video, we cover all Python basics and recommend it for those who are looking for a quick start guide to Python. Watch the rest. Hi, my name is Amir. In this channel, every week I share videos about Python world and how you can reach to AI land. In this session, we are going to learn Python basics. Okay, let's go to code. So let's start with Python basics. In this notebook, we are review the most useful Python data structures and introduce you different types and strings and variables, conditionals, for loops, and other stuff. Okay, let's start with Python data types. First, we introduce strings. Strings in Python are indicated with quotation or double quotation. Like here, I string this hello world and print it out with print command. Like you see here, hello world is printed out. Another type of data type is integers. Integers in Python, just we write a number, it's considered as an integer. Here we have a float number, 4.5. Python knows all the data types automatically. We don't need to indicate that what the data type is. Like here, Python understands that 4.5 is a float number. Here we mixed some data types like strings and integer and separating by commas. If I run this cell, I have this output. We can check the data type of an object using type command. Like this, we print with this command, print type, and the arguments takes an object. Object here is hello world, is clearly a string, and here type 3 is integer, int, and type 4.5 is float. I run this cell and you can see every class is printed out here. Another type in Python is Booleans. Booleans are like true and false. And it can use with logical operators like and or. It is logical operations. True and false is false. True or false is true, and like other so on. If I print out this cell, you can see the results below, as I said. We can use another thing in Python like placeholders. These brackets are called in Python placeholders, and I put stuff in it with format function. In Python, we have logical operators like equal, and other thing that you can see here. I've put the result of this logical operation in this place, and if you can see here, it prints out this part of the string, and the rest of the string is filled by this placeholder. These placeholders are filled by this format method. The result of the format is put in this placeholder. We can define variables in Python too. Everything in Python stores in objects. We can store objects in variables. They can hold some sort of value which we can access and change anytime we want. Like here, I store this string hello world to greetings and I print out here. And I can pass an argument to print function to print out that argument as a variable. Here, as integer variable is defined. As you can see, we don't want to indicate the variable type or data type in Python is automatically assigned to this variable. And we can do this with the logical variable, like hungry, I set it to true, and thirsty, I assigned it to true, and the logical operation between these two variables are true, as you can see results here. We have conditionals in Python. If as the command of the conditional statement, and some statement here that's be logical true or false. If this statement is true, it will do the block under the if. Like here, print if a statement is true, and I clear it. Let's run this cell. As we can see here, we do not define the statement. So I create a statement here as true and run this cell again. As you can see, if a statement is true, so the block under the if is run and print this string. But not operation here, opposite the result of the statement. So not true is false. So this command won't run. We have if and else. Either I assigned a statement to true, not a statement is false. This is false, so this not will run, and else will run, and I will see else string here. Here we see an example. I assigned two variables, greeting, hello flow, and language Italian. I said if the language equals to Italian, change the greeting, and I print out here. So take a minute and guess what is the answer. As you find out, the greeting won't change because none of these if won't work and the greeting won't change at all. So I see the same result as I defined here. Python has a very strong data structures predefined, as you can use them without import any libraries or framework or use any framework. List is one of them. First, we can define a list by brackets here. These open and close brackets are define an empty list for us. Let's print out this empty list with our placeholders as we learned it before. Format, we put some stuff in our placeholders. Type indicates what's this object, indicates type of this object, and I run this cell, and as I can see here, an empty list, and type of class of this list is list. I define a list here 1, 2, 6, 6, 7. One of the most interesting things about list that we can have any object type objects in our list. As you can see here, I have a float number here, and I have integer, strings, and other stuff. I can use all them in one list. So if I run this cell, I have this list. Lists, here we have repetitive objects, elements. Repetitive elements are counted in the length of this list. As you can see, the length of the list of ints are 5 and the length of this list is 6. As you can see here, repetitive elements are counted too. As you can see here, we can access to the elements of one list by their index. The lists are 0 index and it start with from 0 to the length -1. The element 0 here is Python as is printed out here, and the third element is cool. 0, 1, 2, 3 element is cool as it prints out here. I can check if an element is in a list or not. With this if statement, I check if Python is in language list or not. I defined language list here as name of some programming languages, and I check if the Python string is in this list. So we can use this as a very powerful syntax of Python. So as you can see, Python is here, so this print statement will print out here. We can add elements to list with append. Like here, I defined a list with one element, an integer number. I append ham to this list. As you can see here, the result will be one integer and our string that I append to this list. There are some other methods that are predefined in Python and you can use them. I defined a list here. Python is cool. I print my list here. The elements of this list are print out. The pop 0 here means extract the 0 index of the list. This first element here as index 0 is Python, so we have Python here, print out with print function. My list.pop 0 will result to this Python, and I print out with this print. And as you can see here, my list has changed and I don't see any Python here. So our list will change with pop, and the popped element won't be in the list again. As another method we have here, we have sort method for list. As you can see here, I have an element unsorted and I have method sort for the list. So I call this method and my new list will be sorted increasingly. And as you can see, I have a reverse method that I will run here that you will see the results. If I first run this cell and this run, here my list is increasingly and here will be reversed. It starts from 4, here it starts from 0. So then our list is reversed now. As you can see here, we have extend method. First, I define this list of integers, and this sentence Python is cool as each element is a word. I extend my first list with the second list. As you can see, the second list is append to the first list by method extend. My new list is this larger list that have the both, but in order of first list and second list. We have a larger list. As you can see here, we have two new methods, append and extend. What is the difference between append and extend? If I append the first list to my list, it will append to the first list as a list. Let's see the output. As you can see here, the first list I have here, the list of integer, and it is the list inside another list. But if I use extend, I use elements, I add element wise in the first list. But if I use append, the first list completely will put in the first list. So I have a list inside another list. It will be interesting for you that it will be considered as one element, this whole list in another list. But if I use extend, I will grab all the elements of the second list and put them in the first list. The next thing that you must know that lists are mutables. What is mean of mutables? Like here, I define another list, my list words here as the same as before, and I copy my list of words to variable a. I extend a with the equation number string, and the a is here is this list. As you can see here, I print out my list words 2. As you can see, my list words 2 is changed. I changed the a list and my list words has changed too. The solution here is to creating another new list. Original here is this list of integers. I changed the assignment here. List original will give me another list, new list, that as I change the modified list, the first list won't change. As you can see here, original list was this, and the second and modified is this. As you can see, the first list won't change. Loops in Python. In Python, like any other languages, maybe you have practiced with like C, C++, or Java, we have for. For here is element in a function. Function range here, range will give us let's see an example. I add another cell here with this plus. It will mean another cell. Let's see what will range 5 give us. I print out range 5 here. As you can see, it will print out a function. This object is 0 to 5. Range is an object. For I means that for element I in range 5. That you understand that this print out will repeat 5 times. If I print this out, here we have 5 Python printed, and if you can see, you can use index this element here as well. As you can see, Python are written, printed out 5 times, and the index too. So I can use index in this loop block. Our lists that has predefined before are iteratable. I can select an element of an as list and iterate on that list. Like here, I named that element item before I named that element I. So I can iterate on this list and access to these list elements. I print item means items or elements in this list. So let's see the results. As you can see, these are the elements of this list. We have break function. As you can see here, I clarify a condition here. If this condition is true, it will break out and come out of this for loop. So let's see the results. I iterate on this list. It came to here Python. Item equals to Python, so break statement will run and it's go out of the for loop and will stop iterating on the list. So I will have 1, 2, 4. I have another types of range here. This range you have seen before is 0 to 4. Number means elements in this function, objects range 0 to 4, 0 to 4. Another types of range function takes two arguments from 2 to 5. Let's print out this number like here. It will print out the first argument to second argument minus 1. It print out 2 to 4. I can use another range. It takes three arguments. The second is the first argument is from to second argument by a step size of the second argument. As you can see here, 0 to 10 with 2 step size. Another data structure that is so useful in Python is dictionaries. In dictionaries, you have two main parts, the key and the value. In an actual dictionary, this is an equivalent to the words and its definition. As you can see here, I define dictionaries with two kinds of syntax. First one, this is the key in our first type of syntax. Value 1 assigned to key value 1 is assigned to 1.6 value. This is key 2 and the value, key 3 and the value. As you can see, keys and values can be integers or a string too. As you can see here, the different syntax we have here, I use keyword dict and use the keys and the values. I print out both of them. As you can see, the result is same as I declare these two dictionaries in a different syntax. I use this assignment checking is a logical operator to check two variables. As you can see here, the equality of two dictionaries is true, and you can compute the length of this dictionary by keyword len. This will tell you how many keys do you have in your dictionary. I define 3 keys in our dictionary. As you can see here, the length of the dictionary is 3. I can access to the keys, values, and items in the dictionary with the exact keywords. Let's see what is this. As you can see here, the keys of this dictionary is value 1, value 2, and name. And I can here with a list here. Other thing, you can access to the values, only values 1.6, 10, and John Doe. And I have another keyword items that give you each key and value separately in a tuple. What is tuple in Python? It's like a list, but it's defined in a parenthesis. Here I have a tuple here. This is one tuple, second tuple, and third tuple. These three tuples made a list. I defined an empty dictionary here and add values to this dictionary like here. I defined a key and its value, second key and its value, and I assigned a new value to the first key. Let's see the result. As you can see here, my dict is like this, and you can access with the keys exactly. You can use your dictionary name and your key and access to the elements. As you can see here, assigning a new variable to the existing key will change that key too, and I format with this key 1 that indicates that overwriting of these keys are successful. We can delete items and keys in dictionary too. As you can see here, I define this dictionary key 1, key 2, and key X, and I delete key X by accessing by its key name. I delete with the del keyword and delete my key and print out the new dictionary. As you can see here, key X is deleted in our new dictionary. I check here if my new dictionary is out of the deleted things, means that our key is deleted successfully. Say I have used this if condition. If key to delete here, I define my key as key to delete in my dict. If this statement will true, this flag under the if will run and will delete the key to delete. So if, as I deleted before, this else command will run and it say that is not in key value, this in dictionary. So my deletion of this key is successfully run. Another thing that I can get the values by a get method with the name of the key. I can use this with the name of this dictionary method key and the name of the key here. So I have this format with the value of this variable. As you can see here, key D is not defined. So in the first place, it will be none, as there is no value assigned to D because I have no key D here. But get method has a default value that you can use. If the key value that you are using to access the dictionary does not exist, it will return this string. So this we have my default value here. So you can use your default value if this key does not exist in the list. We have functions in Python too. Imagine a function as a machine with three parts. There's the input. The input is the parameters to the function. The second part is the body of the function. This is where the function does something to the input. And lastly, there is a return statement. This is where the function outputs the results. For example, take a sandwich making machine. The input would be the list of toppings. For example, it may take inputs like cheese, ham, and lettuce. The body of the function involves actually making the sandwich by putting together the inputs, the ingredients, with bread and the other condiments. Finally, the machine returns or serves the sandwich. Here is the function. Here is how we define a function in Python. We use def keyword as we have to use in every functions, name of functions, and the input parameters. That's just the name, not data types. I said Python will automatically knows the data types by itself. Just pass the name of the parameters you want to as inputs. As you can see here, I calculate result by sum of the two inputs here and return the results. I call the function here by typing its name and pass these two parameters and print out the result that is returned from the function. Let's see what is the result. As expected, it's 3 for the output result. Here we have another function. As I said, first you have to use def keyword, the name of function, and the parameters input. And I put this input parameters in their placeholders and print out something in the function. Nothing is returned from the function, no return value. Just I call this function by two parameters and just a statement is print out. I can assign the order the input parameters in Python too. Like here, I use my fancy calculation, return first plus second minus third. As you can see here, I just passed three parameters, 3, 2, 1. I here changed the order or specify the order of the input parameters here. As you can see here, first, second, third is the order of my input parameters, but I can mix the order of the parameters. As you can see here, I used third here. Third was 1. I put it in the first place, but I indicate that is the third parameter, not first parameter. So the result of these three of this calling function will be the same results. As you can see, all of them is 4. So I can reorder the inputs of a function in Python. Here is a very good example to review all these concepts in Python. Pause the video, think yourself, and then play again. Okay. Okay, as you can see here, I defined a function, create person info as a name of the function. This function will take 4 arguments: name, age, job, and salary. Why I use this equal? Because I thought this function, I tell this function that if you don't pass any parameter for job, consider as none. Here I define a default variable for job. So if the job won't pass any variable, it considers as none. And the salary, the default variable will be 30. Here in our function, I check if job exists. Info.info is the name of my dictionary, will be updated with this new dictionary. I made a new dictionary and update my first with the second dictionary and record and return that the updated dictionary. So let's see how this function works. Here, as you can see, I just passed two parameters, the name and the age. So it will be considered the default values for job and the salary. But here I passed the job and salary too. So if the job and salary is not passed to the function, this if statement won't work. But if I passed the job to the function, this if statement will work and put my job that I passed to this function in info function and return info with a job. Let's see what is the result here. As you can see, there is no job in the second dictionary as I don't pass any job to the function here. Just put the default salary in the dictionary as I defined here. There is no job here. I said if I passed you any job parameters, update the job. But if I don't pass any job to you, do not update them. So as you can see, I don't pass any job here. So my dictionary won't update it. But in the second call of this function, I both passed job and the salary of that job too. So it's updated with the past parameters. As you can see in the second dictionary, the salary is 10,000 and the job is hacker. Another concept is Python is Docstring. What is Docstring? It's like comments in other languages. How you can see write comments? Everybody use sharp sign for comments, like print something. This sentence will be comment with this sharp sign. If I remove this sharp sign, you can see that the color will change, but I put this as a comment. But what is the docstring? Docstring are considered as help or documentation that you must write or read for every function you use or you write. I can print out with the keyword help. The help or of the name of that function will print out the docstring of that function. Here is we can see I write this docstring with 3 double quotations, and it will be help on function pre-sum is by written automatically by Python interpreter, and my docstring is print out here. You can use your docstring to declare what your Python function will do. You can use it for Python functions too. Hold Shift and Tab together to see the docstring for that function. I use it for print function. As you can see, the docstring of print will be shown here. This is the docstring that is written for the print. Another cool thing that is Python is supported is that you can return more than one parameter from a function. Like here, I defined a very simple function that just returned 2 variables. Like this, I defined 2 variables, 1 and 2, and return them separating by commas. As you can see here, I defined 2 variables assigning to this function, and by order of returning the variables, we'll put in these variables. I print out A and B. As you can see, I first print the docstring of this function. The docstring will be print out here, and A and B. By the order I return the values, these values are printed out. As you can see, I returned val1 first, so val1 will put in A, and the val2 is return the second value and put in the second parameter here, that is B. I can define pass function here that we can use pass keyword here that define empty function. If you want to declare just a function name, you can use this keyword, as this function will nothing to do, just the syntax is used for, like, you want to create a project and just define the methods, and you can use this pass to just write your methods you want to develop later. But if you put nothing in this block, your Python interpreter will warn you with an error. But if you pass here, you have the method, nothing to do, and have the your function. So as you can see, this block won't run anything. Okay, this is all you need to know about the Python basics. I shared the notebook in my GitHub repository. It will be so helpful if you practice it by yourself. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe in my channel. If you enjoyed this video, have a good day.